Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, Chris D Redefined. This will be likely my last post before the Christmas holiday. I might do a short. Maybe I'll do a short right before Christmas. And for those of you that observe the Christmas holiday, I will certainly wish you a very Merry Christmas to you and your loved ones. So I'm all done up for Christmas, obviously. That and my Philadelphia Eagles, as of yesterday, became the NFC East champions, which means we go to the divisional round of the playoffs. I don't know how far we're going to get, especially if we play, well, anybody, actually. My Philadelphia Eagles are somehow made it to the divisional round, but I don't have a lot of confidence. Their offense is playing poorly, and so our defense is awesome, probably in the top 3 of the league, but our offense just sucks. So we'll see if we even make it out of the first round that we play in the playoffs. But that being said, congratulations to my Philadelphia Eagles, and we'll see how far we go. We still have 2 games left in the season, and even if we lose out those games, I don't think we will, but even if we do, we're still the division champions, so we will go and represent the NFC East in the playoffs. That being said, let me turn the focus over to being an estranged parent during the holidays. A lot of people suffer, and it's a tough time of the year for a lot of people. So I wanted to just kind of hit on how I handle the holidays. And so 2 days ago was my birthday. No, 3 at this point. 3 days ago was my birthday. And it was a Friday, so I sent my son his weekly Flashback Friday pics. I sent him, 4 to 6 pictures of himself when he was young to him. He doesn't have any photo albums, not like, kids these days don't have photo albums. They have their phone, but I'm the one that had all the pics of him when he was little. So I send him, some pics every Friday. And once in a while, as you know, if you follow me, he will answer and say, "Thanks for the pictures, Mom," or his last communication with me was on the 17th of November, and he said, "I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm safe." So that's good. Anyhow, how do you get through this holiday season? It's challenging. I had a couple moments where I didn't feel great on my birthday. Overall, I felt awesome on my birthday. I was at school, and my class recognized my birthday. There was cake, and there were candles and singing, and it was a blast. But there were maybe 1 or 2 moments in the day where I was alone, where, I was thinking of my son, and just a tiny bit melancholy, but overall a really good day. And I've covered this before. What do you do on special days and holidays? Everybody handles it differently. Some people isolate themselves. I don't. I make a plan, especially for the holidays, because the holidays are a really special time for me. I'm usually happy and, upbeat. I love decorating, my home with holiday stuff. I love holiday music, and I love the whole thing. I love, getting together with friends and the music and the decorations. I love all of it. And so it is a little tough for me during the holidays because, having children, you're baking cookies, you're wrapping gifts, you're going shopping, it's a special time for children. And so for me, it does get a tiny bit tough. So I always make sure, my strategy is always to make sure I'm busy during the Christmas holiday. And so this year I am going to Medina. I have my wonderful housemate Carolina, who grew up on the island of Medina, and she invited me to her house. And so it's a beautiful island, archipelagos off the coast of Portugal, and I'll be going there, and it should be really awesome. And I'll be spending it with her family. They speak only Portuguese, so I will be forced to speak Portuguese for 4 days, which is good. I need the practice. And so I'm really looking forward to see how a traditional Portuguese Christmas really looks like. And she said they do all the traditional things for Medina in her household. and it's full of family and lots to eat. And so that I just look forward to a different cultural experience. And so last year I went to Barcelona all by myself. I was there for 6 days. And so again, same thing, keep myself busy. Always, I flew on Christmas Day. And so I didn't even think about Christmas. I was only thinking about travel and making connections and all that stuff and getting to the airport on time. So I really didn't even recognize that it was Christmas, which for me is good. And so I don't know how you want to handle it, but how can I say this? Definitely pamper yourself however you want to handle it, whether it is being alone and watching movies with hot cocoa and a blanket, or whether it is traveling, whether it's getting together with friends. Maybe you invite a whole bunch of friends over to your home and your home is full of activity and noise and cooking. I think if I owned a home, I would probably do that. I'm a big one for inviting friends all the time to do something. And so I do that almost every week. I'd say every other week I'm making either coffee with friends or an event with friends. Like last week, I had 2 lunches with friends and also a bunch of friends over to play pool at the snooker bar 2 floors down from my apartment, and darts. So it's a snooker and darts bar, and about 5 of us, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us were playing darts and pool. That was fun. So I'm the type to invite people and make a busy time of it. So whatever is the best way that you cope with sadness, do that. Like I said, it could be travel. It could be getting together with only 1 or 2 friends, or it could be, creating a big party and having lots of friends over. So that's how I deal with it. If you're in a stage where you're just really down, and that happens when you're just down, I think, gone past that stage, but what helped me when I was super down was the Facebook groups like Estranged Mothers of Adult Sons, reading Sherry McGregor's book, Done with the Crying. There's lots of books about estranged parenting, and sadly, it's a growing phenomena. I think it's more than 1 in 5. I think it's something like up to 23%, almost a quarter of families have some sort of phase or incidents where one person who has withdrawn themselves from the family. Didn't used to be this way. It used to be kind of strange for a child to withdraw themselves from the family, but it's getting more and more common, and it's very sad. I don't know. I think what happens is we all live in a virtual world now. It's all digital, and it's super easy just to turn off a channel or block somebody. And I think children think that that's the way to handle things, is just block someone. And I worry about the future being a child psych major also, and a family dynamics major in school. I worry about the skills that we're not developing anymore to overcome conflict, to communicate through conflict, to listen, do reflective listening, and dealing with uncomfortable situations. I think that's a skill that's dying, because all we have to do now is block people, and then you don't have to have them in your life anymore. But then you can't block everyone, and you can't block every situation. And so at some point in your life, if you've chosen to be the one to cut people out, at some point in your life, you can't block that person or that situation. You're stuck with it. So then what do you do? How do you make it through really difficult circumstances? Because at some point, you will have to make it through a difficult circumstance. Do you have the tenacity? Do you have the mental strength and emotional strength to get through working through tough times? And I think that might be a dying skill in our society because of the cancel culture and the just block everybody. So that worries me a little bit. What else? I think just, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I think maybe if studies are done for the future, you know, maybe there will be a study done on estranged children and parents and what happens 10 years later. I was watching an Oprah episode that really focused on that, and they had some experts who, it just seems like they're one side or the other, like you're on the kid's side or the parent's side, and it's really strange. It's a shame that this dynamic happens. I don't have any blame on my part for my son. He's hurt. Obviously, he's hurt, or he wouldn't have done this to all of us. He cut my father, me out, my mother, who's still alive, his paternal grandmother, who he's super close with, his father and his father's wife. He cut all of us out. So somehow we all hurt him. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't understand it. So, but I just worry that if he's really in trouble, that he doesn't feel that he can reach out to me or to one of us for help. Certainly he can reach out to me. I don't want to talk about the past. I'll never bring it up unless he wants to bring it up, but that's the only thing I worry about with him. Obviously, I'm getting into my own situation, but how do you get through the holidays? Honor how you deal with sadness, if that means kind of quiet time to yourself, or if it means gathering friends near you or your closest friend or friends to you, or whether it's having big parties and filling up your schedule with travel and parties. I tend to do that. So make sure you plan ahead for the holidays, and make sure that you've got a plan for those days that are really, really hard. That's how I deal with it. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning into my channel, Chris D. Redefined. Wishing you the happiest of holidays. And if I don't post another episode before Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. Thanks so much for tuning into my channel. If you like the content, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the other side of Christmas.